Hey everyone, it's Karnak, and this is Star Wars Armada Explained. Sorry I haven't posted a video recently. I was just really sick. Maybe if you watched my last one, you would have heard me hacking up a storm. But I'm back. Today we're going to look at an objective close range intel scan. So this objective is, as far as objectives go, it's actually really straightforward. So let's just dive right in. So close range intel scan, the setup, very short. Place obstacles, adding the two dust fields as normal. So let's start with just that chunk there. So typically when you are placing obstacles, you have 3 asteroid fields, 2 debris fields, and a station. This objective throws in to the 2 dust fields. Now remember, asteroids are when you land on them, you take for ships, you take a hull damage, face up hull damage. The debris fields is you take 2 damage to any one chosen hull zone. And then the station, obviously, it will either heal a squadron 1 health or it will remove a damage card from your ship if it has one. Dust fields were introduced in the Krellian conflict. They will obstruct any attack just like any other obstacle for squadrons. For ships, though, it's slightly different. So these dust fields, if any line of sight is traced through them from an attacking ship to a defending ship, you cannot make any attacks on another ship. So, for example, if this was, even though the Star Destroyer is at, let's put him a little bit closer, at medium range here, because this dust field is in his line of sight from front to front, he cannot attack that other ship. Just because the dust field blocks any and all attacks. It's not an obstruction, it is just a flat out, if line of sight is traced over it, you can't make attacks, period. Alright, let's read the next part. So essentially you just add in the dust fields with the rest of the objectives. So this is actually really good. I want to back up 1 second. So this is actually really good if you're Imperials and you're bringing someone like Brunson, who relies on obstacles to be able to help negate damage. So obviously having more obstacles out in the field is only going to help, benefit a player who is bringing somebody like Brunson. Or, a lot of people like using the dust fields to try to help shield weak ships like Quasar Fires or Victories from taking a pounding at long range. Allows them to help close the distance, or otherwise just potentially, block shots against them so that they can survive longer. All right, now let's get to the next part of this card. Special rule: while one of the second player ship is attacking a ship, the attacker may spend 1 die with an accuracy icon. If it does, the attacker's owner gains 1 victory token. While one of the first player's ships is attacking a ship, the attacker may spend 2 die with an accuracy icon. If it does, the attacker's owner gains 1 victory token. So the victory points in close range intel scan are worth 10. That's not a whole lot. I mean, close range intel scan is pretty much all it really benefits flat out is a second player. And this objective card is great if you're bringing ships like Star Destroyers that have gunnery teams on them, so you can't bring advanced gunnery. Maybe you don't have any flotillas, so you really don't want to bring Most Wanted. Maybe you have a bunch of high-value ships you don't want to tag one of your own ships for. And those are the 2 cards that, often get taken most by fleets. There's also other cards like, for example, Opening Salvo are good for a lot of small ships. You want to get more benefit from that. But essentially, if you're a second player, excuse me, and you don't really have a lot of great options, I will always throw close range intel scan into there, just because it only benefits second player for the most part. Now let's move on into how the card works. So in this example, we're going to say I'm the Star Destroyer. I am second player on the Empire, and I'm shooting the first player, which is this Rebel MC-80. So we check our range. Are we in range? Yes, we are in medium range. And remember, when you're measuring attack range, you're measuring from cardboard to cardboard. And we are at medium range, which is the blue band here. So that if this was, for example, an ISD2, in this example, I'll say, which out the front arc it throws 4 red die, 4 blue die. We have clear line of sight. There's no obstructions or anything else in the way. We're going to go ahead and throw our initial attack pool. And there we go. So that's our initial attack pool. Now, when does close range intel scan come into effect? So this is just essentially while you're attacking. So you can spend one die with an accuracy icon to gain one victory token. Now, you can't spend multiple die. Like, if these were all accuracies, you just can't be like, oh, I'm going to spend all of them and rack up 80 points in one attack. That's not how it works. You can only resolve a card's effect once unless it specifically states otherwise. Now, you can resolve it once per attack. Say, if I had that MC80 double arc, I could get a token once per attack, but I can't get multiples in one go. So as second player, just like with accuracies in general, so accuracies, remember, you spend, meaning you remove them from the die pool to either lock defensive tokens, or in this situation, if you did want to remove an accuracy to then gain a victory point for yourself, you can do that. You got 10 points. And it doesn't seem like that's a whole lot, but over a course of a game, an extra 50, 60, 70 points, that can make a difference. I mean, that's offsetting potentially any squadron losses, losing a small ship, or even if you do lose one of your larger ships, potentially you are cutting that loss in half, so it doesn't hurt so bad. So that is the time and effective close range intel scan. Again, you roll your initial attack pool, you then modify and do any of your other stuff, and then before you pass it off to the defender to do anything, you say, okay, now I'm spending my accuracy icons. I'm going to use, the two of them to lock defense tokens, and I'm going to spend this one specifically to get me a victory point. And there are definitely situations where maybe you don't want to do that. Like if you've got 3 accuracies and it locks all the defense tokens, and then the rest of your damage will kill the ship. Obviously, kill the ship. Don't spend the accuracy icon just to spend the accuracy icon if you've got a kill shot. But this is great because this is the timing of this card allows you to do it uh, before the defender can cancel. Like if they've got evades or scatters, so if I'm shooting, like, if the only shots I've got, again, as example, like against flotillas or ships with evade, and I roll some damage, and maybe I got an accuracy, but then I only got 1 damage, it's kind of like, in the long run, is that going to really help me, or should I just use my accuracy to just get some free points, try to close the distance, and then see if I can take it out then? So that way you're still getting some benefit from the attack, and you're not just getting nothing from it. So always evaluate, look at the situation, what's going on. Now, if you're the first player, if you're shooting in reverse, we're going to say, for example, let's just go ahead and tilt this MC80. He wouldn't want to be charging head first into a Star Destroyer. We're going to go ahead and say this is the one that throws the 3 red die, 3 blue die. So he's going to make his attack. And in this situation, he only threw the 1 accuracy. Now, for first player, it specifically says they have to spend 2 die with accuracy icons to get 1 victory token. So as first player, like, there's never a situation where you're going to want to spend 2 accuracy icons, which is, you lock defense tokens to then get 10 points. I mean, so it's extremely rare that a first player is ever going to spend 2 accuracy icons to get points. I mean, like with anything, if you rolled a ton of accuracies and you have no way to reroll, get whatever you can. But this objective really does not benefit first player in the least, which is good because obviously they get to go first anyway. So you want all the advantage you can as second player. So that is close range intel scan. Again, very straightforward. I know I kind of covered a couple things that I didn't really have to go over, but I just want to make sure I'm trying to encompass all aspects of objectives if I have the ability and time to do so. Another thing that the Empire loves to use with close range intel scan is Captain Jonas. Because his ability is if you're attacking a ship and he's at distance 1 of that ship, you can turn any result to an accuracy icon if it's got the ability to, so any red or blue. So it's great for die fixing, your red die to accuracy icons, and then if you get, excuse me, if you get that result, and obviously you can just turn it, claim your points, and then potentially still kill something, or otherwise get a benefit you couldn't have. But of course, any yeah, and for this objective, There's no clarifications. There's no errata. As far as I'm aware, there's no other crazy interactions or any other thing going on. Of course, if you find anything in error or if there's something wrong, please be sure to comment. Let me know about it. Want to make sure I'm getting it taken care of. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you next time. Nope, not that button.